Good evening, and welcome to Election Night in America 2024. After a very long and rigorous campaign cycle, Vice President Kamala Harris will now take on the former Vice President of the United States Mike Pence in the 2024 presidential election. Both candidates have served under one-term presidents, and this is the first time in which two vice presidents who served under one-term presidents will face off in a general election. Kamala Harris has chosen Joe Kennedy III, a member of the Kennedy family and a representative from the state of Massachusetts, as her running mate, while Mike Pence will be running alongside Nikki Haley, the former ambassador to the United Nations under Donald Trump's first 2 years in office. It is now 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and the polls have closed in the states of Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, Virginia, and Vermont, the first poll closings of the night, making up a total of 60 electoral votes. The state of Indiana will go to Mike Pence. He is the projected winner here. He was the former governor of the state of Indiana before joining Donald Trump on his campaign trail in 2016, and Mike Pence will carry the state of Indiana and its 11 electoral votes. He is also the projected winner in the state of Kentucky. The former vice president will carry the state of Kentucky and its 8 electoral votes. And he is also the projected winner out of the state of South Carolina, winning its 9 electoral votes. Kamala Harris is the projected winner of the state of Vermont. The vice president will carry the state of Vermont and its 3 electoral votes. And the state of Virginia will also be called right now at poll closing time for Vice President Kamala Harris. The state of Virginia has really proven to be a now Democratic stronghold state before previously being a Republican stronghold state, but this state has completely flipped now in 2024. Kamala Harris will carry the state of Virginia and its 13 electoral votes. And finally, the state of Georgia, a state that went to Joe Biden by a historic 0.2%. It was the first time that a Democrat had ever won the state of Georgia since 1992. Kamala Harris right now is not on track to continuing to win the state of Georgia for the Democratic Party. She is down by a margin of 2.3%. However, we still have many votes left to count in the state of Georgia, worth 16 crucial electoral votes. And taking a look at our electoral map here, Kamala Harris currently has 16 electoral votes, trailing Mike Pence with 28 after the first poll closings of the night. It is now 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and the polls have closed out of the states of North Carolina, Ohio, and West Virginia, making up a total of 37 electoral votes, with North Carolina being one of the most important states in this election. The state of West Virginia will go to Mike Pence. Mike Pence is the projected winner of its 4 electoral votes. The state of North Carolina is currently too close to call. Kamala Harris does lead by a margin of 5.6%, but this number is expected to shrink as the night goes on. This was a state that Donald Trump was able to carry in 2020 by a margin of 1.3%. Its 16 electoral votes will be a historic win for Kamala Harris if she was able to pull this off, being the first Democratic candidate to ever win this state since Barack Obama in 2008. The state of Ohio is currently too early to call, with Mike Pence down by 1.8%. However, he is expected to gain more votes as more rural counties report their results, but Kamala Harris right now does lead in the state of Ohio, a state that Donald Trump won by over 8% in 2020. Its 17 electoral votes will be very, very crucial for a Mike Pence victory tonight. And after the second poll closings of the night, we have Kamala Harris trailing with 16 electoral votes to Mike Pence, who is currently leading with an electoral vote tally of 33. It is now 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have 170 electoral votes up for grabs out of the largest poll closing of the night, with poll closings out of the states of Alabama, Connecticut, Delaware, the District of Columbia, Florida, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Missouri, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, as well as the state of Tennessee. The state of Alabama, Mike Pence is the projected winner, winning its 8 electoral votes, while out of the state of Connecticut, Kamala Harris is the projected winner, winning its 7 electoral votes. She will also go on to win the state of Delaware, the home state of President Joe Biden, winning its 3 electoral votes. Kamala Harris will also win the District of Columbia, no surprise, a district that has never voted for the Republican Party. Kamala Harris will carry the district and its 3 electoral votes. She will also go on to win the state of Illinois, the home state of Barack Obama, although the state of Illinois has lost 1 electoral vote after the 2020 census. The state of Maine, 3 out of its 4 split electoral votes are projected to go to Kamala Harris, who is the projected winner of the 1st district as well as the at-large vote in the state of Maine, with the 2nd district right now is currently too close to call. The state of Maryland, 10 electoral votes will also go to Kamala Harris, and she is also the projected winner of the state of Massachusetts, the home state of Elizabeth Warren, who made it pretty far in the Democratic primary before eventually dropping out after Super Tuesday. Kamala Harris, the projected winner of the state of Massachusetts, and its 11 electoral votes. Mike Pence is the projected winner of the state of Mississippi and its 6 electoral votes, and he will also carry the state of Missouri and its 10 electoral votes. The vice president will also carry the state of New Hampshire. Its 4 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris will carry the state of New Jersey and its 14 electoral votes. The state of Oklahoma will go to Mike Pence carrying all 7 of its electoral votes, and he will also win the state of Tennessee and its 11 electoral votes. The state of Rhode Island, 3 electoral votes, the projected winner Kamala Harris. And then out of the state of Florida is currently too close to call. The state that Donald Trump was able to carry by over 3% in 2020 and now has 31 electoral votes after the census, and Mike Pence currently leads by a margin of 2.1% over Kamala Harris. This may really just be the end of the Democratic Party's presence here in the state of Florida, which has been shifting more and more to the right in the last decade. The 2nd district of Maine is currently too close to call, with Kamala Harris leading by a margin of 0.3%. Its 1 electoral vote has not been a district that the Democrats have been able to win since 2012. The state of Pennsylvania, its 19 electoral votes, so again 1 less electoral votes than the 20 that it had in 2020. Kamala Harris is currently leading by a margin of 6.3%, although that number is expected to drastically decrease as the night goes on. And after the largest poll closing of the night, worth over 160 electoral votes, Kamala Harris is currently at 93 electoral votes to Mike Pence, who is standing at a total of 74. It is now 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have 6 electoral votes up for grabs out of the state of Arkansas. Mike Pence is the projected winner of the state of Arkansas and its 6 electoral votes, and this puts Pence up at 80 electoral votes to Vice President Harris, who stands at 95. It is now 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have a state call out of the 2nd district of Maine. Its 1 electoral vote is currently projected to go to Mike Pence. He will be the 3rd Republican to consecutively carry the 2nd district of Maine since 2016. And it is now 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have 156 electoral votes up for grabs from the 2nd largest poll closing of the night out of the states of Arizona, Colorado, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Mexico, New York, North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, Wisconsin, and the state of Wyoming. The state of Colorado, its 10 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris, while the state of Kansas, the projected winner Mike Pence, its 6 electoral votes will go to the former vice president. The former vice president will also carry the state of Louisiana and its 8 electoral votes, while the current vice president Kamala Harris will carry the state of Minnesota and its 9 electoral votes. Mike Pence is the projected winner of 4 out of Nebraska's 5 electoral votes, with the 2nd district currently too close to call. The 2nd district of Nebraska has now just been called. Kamala Harris is the projected winner of the 2nd district of Nebraska. Its 1 electoral vote will go to the current vice president. The state of New Mexico, 5 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris. She is the projected winner of the state of New Mexico. She will also carry the state of New York, and it's now 27 electoral votes, while Mike Pence carries the state of North Dakota. 3 electoral votes will go to the former vice president, as well as the state of South Dakota, another 3 electoral votes in the Pence column. The state of Wyoming, 3 electoral votes once again will go to the former vice president Mike Pence. The state of Arizona, 12 electoral votes. Mike Pence currently leads by a margin of 2.1%. This race is currently too close to call. This was a race that Joe Biden was able to win in 2020 by a margin of 0.3%. However, right now, the numbers are not looking as if they are in favor of Kamala Harris, but we'll see how they progress as the night goes on. The state of Michigan right now, Kamala Harris leads by a margin of just 0.4%. This was a state that Joe Biden was able to flip back for the Democratic Party in 2020. However, Kamala Harris does seem to be struggling to win these states in 2024. The state of Texas, and it's now 41 electoral votes. Kamala Harris actually leads in the state by a margin of 0.3%. This is a little bit early right now, but the state of Texas, currently Kamala Harris leads by a margin of 0.3% with 41 electoral votes up for grabs. The state of Wisconsin, it's 10 electoral votes. Kamala Harris currently leads by a margin of 1.8%. This was a state that Joe Biden was barely able to carry by 1% in 2020, and right now Kamala Harris is expected to win this state. However, it is currently still too close to call, as Mike Pence does still have a very strong chance at flipping Wisconsin back. And after our second largest poll closing of the night, we have Kamala Harris, who now leads with 145 electoral votes to Mike Pence, trailing at 107. It is now 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have state calls out of the states of Florida and Ohio, making up a whopping 44 electoral votes. The state of Florida is projected right now to go to former Vice President Mike Pence. Its 31 electoral votes are very crucial to his victory tonight, and he will be the third Republican to carry this state consecutively after 2016, with Trump's victory there in 2016 and 2020, and now Mike Pence, the third Republican to carry the state of Florida, which has been moving more and more to the right in the last decade. The state of Ohio, 17 electoral votes will also go to Mike Pence. This is also another huge win for the former vice president, and he is now on track to victory in the 2024 presidential election. It is now 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have 22 electoral votes up for grabs out of the states of Iowa, Montana, Nevada, and Utah. The state of Montana, Mike Pence is the projected winner, winning its 4 electoral votes. It gained 1 electoral vote from its 3 after the 2020 census. The state of Nevada not having to wait days now for a result here. Kamala Harris is the projected winner of the state of Nevada and its 6 electoral votes. Out of the state of Utah, Mike Pence is the projected winner, winning its again 6 electoral votes here in the state of Utah. And finally, out of the state of Iowa, Kamala Harris currently leads by a margin of 0.1%. It is currently too close to call. However, this is very, very early on here in the state of Iowa, with 6 electoral votes up for grabs out of this state, a state that Donald Trump carried pretty comfortably in both 2016 and 2020. Mike Pence does seem to be struggling right now, but again, it is still very early on here in the state of Iowa. And after these poll closings, we have 151 electoral votes in the Kamala Harris column to 165 for former Vice President Mike Pence in the 2024 presidential election. It is now 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have poll closings out of the states of California, Hawaii, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, and this is the second last poll closing of the night, making up 83 electoral votes. Out of the state of California, Kamala Harris will win the state of California and its 55 electoral votes. No surprises here. She served as a senator from the state for 4 years before joining Joe Biden in his 2020 campaign. But Kamala Harris, the projected winner of the state of California and its whopping 55 electoral votes. The state of Hawaii, 4 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris, while Mike Pence will carry the state of Idaho and its 4 electoral votes. The state of Oregon, 8 electoral votes. Kamala Harris is the projected winner, and she is also the projected winner from the state of Washington and its 12 electoral votes. And after these 5 West Coast states have been filled into the map, Kamala Harris now leads with 230 electoral votes to Mike Pence, trailing at just 169. It's now 12 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have state calls from the states of Iowa, Michigan, Texas, making up a total of 61 electoral votes, with the state of Texas being a very crucial state for Mike Pence if he wants to have a shot at winning this election tonight. The state of Iowa, its 6 electoral votes will go to Mike Pence. Mike Pence, the projected winner of the state of Iowa. While Kamala Harris is the projected winner of the state of Michigan, the Democrats will continue to carry the state after they lost it in 2016 and Joe Biden was able to win it back in 2020. But right now, Kamala Harris, the projected winner of Michigan, and its 15 electoral votes. And finally, the state of Texas, 41 electoral votes now, up from 38 after the 2020 census. Mike Pence will carry the state by a margin of now just less than 4% for the Republican Party, and in 2028, this race will be one of the most interesting on the map, and Mike Pence in 2024 will carry the state of Texas. It is now 1 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have our final poll closing of the night out of the state of Alaska. Its 3 electoral votes will of course go to former Vice President Mike Pence. Mike Pence carrying the state of Alaska and its 3 electoral votes. And after the final poll closing of the night, we have Kamala Harris leading with 245 electoral votes to Mike Pence at 219, and these final 5 states are the 5 most competitive states in this election, so both candidates have a very strong shot at winning at this point in time. However, votes will be continuing to be counted early into this morning, and we'll expect results from the states very, very soon. It is now 2:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have 22 electoral votes up for grabs from these 2 state calls from the states of Arizona and Wisconsin. As of right now, Kamala Harris is the projected winner of the state of Arizona and its 12 electoral votes, a state that Biden was able to flip in 2020, and Kamala Harris will continue to carry the state for the Democratic Party. The state of Wisconsin, its 10 electoral votes will also go to the current Vice President of the United States, another state that Biden again carried in 2020, and Kamala Harris now 4 years later will continue to carry for the Democratic Party. And this puts Kamala Harris up at 267 electoral votes, just 3 away from winning the 2024 presidential election and becoming the first female vice president in American history. However, Mike Pence could very well win those final 3 states, as he sits right now at 219 electoral votes. It is now 5:15 a.m. Eastern Time, and we can finally call those 3 states, Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, worth 51 electoral votes. The state of Georgia will go to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is the projected winner of the state of Georgia in 16 electoral votes, a state that Biden was able to flip 4 years ago, and Kamala Harris again will continue to carry for the Democratic Party, so Kamala Harris has won the state of Georgia, putting her over 270 electoral votes. She is also the projected winner in the state of North Carolina. This will be her only flip of the night, winning its 16 electoral votes, a state that Biden was not able to win 4 years ago. However, as of right now, Kamala Harris has flipped the state of North Carolina. She will also carry the state of Pennsylvania for the Democratic Party, winning its 19 electoral votes that Biden flipped also in 2020, but Kamala Harris will continue to win for her party. And the final 2024 electoral map comes out to 318 electoral votes for Vice President Kamala Harris and 219 for former Vice President Mike Pence in the 2024 presidential election, which means that yes, Kamala Harris is now the first female president-elect of the United States. She'll be inaugurated in January and officially becoming the first female vice president in American history. She will also be the second African-American president in American history, not vice president, and she will also be the first Asian president of the United States as well, becoming the 47th president of the United States. Kamala Harris has now been elected to that office. I'd like to thank you guys all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like down below. Also consider joining my Discord server, the link to which is also at the very top of the description below. And I'll see all of you guys in the next video.